Obligatory podcast intro.
Hi, hello, and welcome. This is Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam. I'm Matt with my co-host Adam, and this show is where we take all 111 letters of the alphabet, we put them in a stein, we each draw a letter, and then pick a comic that begins with that letter. I don't know his, he doesn't know mine. Spoilers ahead for these two comics, for sure, and possibly any other stuff we get into. We
don't discriminate. We'll spoil anything.
Spoil it all. We don't give a fuck.
I don't care. I'm not one of those people.
Nice. All right, man. So I drew I. What did you draw? What'd you get?
W.
W.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah. So we've started taking letters out.
Yeah. As we're going.
I mean, there's 111 of them.
There's
so
many.
I mean, there's a lot.
Fuck.
Yeah, but we've been taking them out. So I got this. It's called I Walk with Monsters.
Cool.
It's Vault Comics. The artist is Sally Cantorino. Cantorino. And writer is Paul Cornell.
Cool.
All right, so this is pretty heavy.
Okay.
This is some pretty heavy stuff.
You didn't look into. Obviously,
I did not
look into it.
I did not.
That's good.
I wanted to follow the rules.
Good.
I grabbed it and I was like,
"This is
this is what I'm fucking doing." So it's 6 issues.
Okay.
Vault Comics. They tend to Vault's doing their thing.
Yeah.
Like this is part of like I think it's called Nightfall, and it was like a horror series they did.
Okay.
There's a bunch other. They're like in the digital copy they have the bumpers, the advertisements.
Yeah. I've seen.
So it was it was like 4 or 5 different stories, and they made it all for this Nightfall event they were doing. So this is one of them.
Cool.
So it kicks off with this girl who's tied to a chair. She's young, probably. She's 18, I believe, in this. So they jump around, confusingly so, but they jump around. Yeah. She's wearing the same jacket. You have to look at like the jeans and the color of her shirt to know that they changed.
That's kind of frustrating.
I was like, 8 was like convenient enough to put colors to be like, hey, completely you're in the past. But it was all right, man. I figured it out. Yeah. So she's tied to a chair. There's some creep. And she's like, this is my favorite part. You could tell he's crazy. He's talking off the wall. And he's obviously going to hurt her. Somehow. It doesn't clarify what. But, yeah, he was going to do some shit. So, in busts this giant, like, wolf monster thing.
Damn, that's like
it's huge.
Yokai.
Yes, so
monster.
Right, multiple fire eyes.
It looks dope.
He busts in and he rips the dude to shreds,
and then turns back into a person.
He turns into this guy. This guy's name is David, and the girl's name is JC.
JC.
Okay. Jacey.
Okay.
JC.
Okay.
And his name is David. So there's like a little joke where he's like, "Don't look," and she's like, "You always say that," you know, because like. He changes, comes back naked, and he's like, don't look.
Yeah.
He's obviously way older than her. So does a flashback back on the farm that they lived on. And it's JC and her brother Jake. And then they introduce this kid named Eric who, like, the dad comes in. He's like, hey, he's going to be staying with us for a little while. No. He goes to work. I think JC sees him shooting up heroin. He's not the greatest kid, but he seems to be doing his shit.
Minding his own business.
Exactly. So one day he was like, you're going to be leaving us. And he's like, oh, I thought I was doing good work. And then the next panel is just JC and Jake at the table sitting there. And he's like, yeah, your brother you won't be seeing him anymore. He's in a better place now. So it gets to it. But so anyway, it's back in the present, I'm assuming, with JC and David, and she's looking up local girls missing girl, missing kids, anything like that. So it cuts back to the state fair here, and this guy's like, we're meeting her dad. He says, we're meeting an important man today. So this, I'll just say it now, this is the bad guy, is the important man.
Yeah.
So they go in, and he's like, the way they see him, he's just like towering above them. He's like this giant monster.
Wow. It's really impressionistic
right?
art.
So it's adorned with like American flags. He's wearing a suit and gloves, or not gloves, pins on his lapels and stuff. So you can assume pretty close immediately that he's a politician, right? Yep. So he meets him. And when they're leaving the tent, the dad says he's going to stay here with the important man. And then they're in the car. She's like looking back, and he's like, you won't ever see your brother again.
Huh.
So then they're walking back in the present time, JC and David, they're walking through town, and you can see the sign where it says vote. And it's obviously the dude. So he's running for office right now.
Yeah.
There's billboards everywhere, and she's talking about, like, I can't quite remember his face. So they're, like, kind of discussing the beast, and he can, like, smell, like, abuse.
Okay.
Or trauma.
That's
I
crazy.
guess.
In my vendor, the dude could sense when people were dying.
Right, exactly. So, but yeah, he can, like, he kind of sees it as an actual trail.
Ooh.
So it's pretty interesting. So she's walking through town by herself, and she sees the vote for. It's always cut off where it says man. So the only thing you see is man. He's the important man.
Yeah,
That's it.
Gotcha.
So she's at school, like when she's young. This is a flashback. She's like telling her teacher, "I think my dad hurt my brother," and they're like, "Yo, that's pretty serious," you know. So you can see that like she's having difficulty talking to this guy David now. They say that they're brother and sister, and that he's way older. They've got together somewhere. It gets into it, but she's obviously messed up. Like he tries to talk to her, and like she'll just run away. You know, like she takes off, and he turns into a dog and like follows her, finds her, smells her out, and you know, and he's like super calm and patient with her. He's always like, "Do you want to talk about something else?" Like, we don't have to talk about this. And anytime, and he's super calm. She'll be like, "Fuck you," and he's like, "Are you okay? Like, do you want to talk about something else?" He just takes it really.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. It's a weird relationship between these two. And obviously not romantic at all.
Yeah.
He does kind of see her as like a daughter,
Yeah.
it looks like, or a little sister.
Yeah, that's what it's been demonstrating.
So all these flashbacks are just showing kind of like the build up to her eventually running away from her father. And he like mentions her birthday's coming up, and she's like, "You're turning 12. You're going to start doing stuff around here." She like back talks him. He's like, "Oh, you're going to learn soon. You can't do that.
Right.
Can't act like that." So she basically in her head makes this appear, but like this wolf shows up.
Oh, shit.
The dog.
Okay.
And we can assume it's David.
Yeah.
So he shows up, and she feeds him, and he keeps coming back day after day. So she's like, you know, my 12th birthday's in 2 days, and the day before I'm going to run away. So it focuses on this like NASA stuff. She's like obsessed with NASA, which this is the only time it comes into play. You never see anything. All I can assume is it's the escape theme of it. Get away from it's outer space, astronauts.
Okay.
She wants to leave. I can assume
It's
that
like freedom.
I'm guessing.
Something like that.
It never comes back up. Also, these flashbacks do like a weird thing where they like get blurry and like glitch out. So you can't.
That's kind of weird.
You can't see it continue. What's confusing is that they'll do it in present time as well. So like later she's talking to David, and then it does it, and it's like, I thought this was a flashback thing.
Yeah, it's just their style of a transition.
It only does it like 3 or 4 times throughout 6 issues.
Yeah.
It's strange. So, it shows her dad like kind of dropping hints like something's going to be, the next thing on the menu shouldn't talk back, that it like disappears and it glitches out. It's strange, man. Like I said, I had to read it quite a few times. And so I'm guessing that's like a hazy memory.
Okay, yeah.
And then it comes back to her dad. She, in the present time, they're figuring out who this guy is. They're seeing billboards and signs of him. They see his name. They're like, that's him. She has a problem. She's like, I can't look at it. I'm just going to point and you look at it. It's kind of weird. So they go, they see him at a little conference he's giving.
Okay.
And David sniffs him out, follows the trail, and finds out where he lives. And he's like, oh, yeah, I can smell it. It's bad. I can smell the abuse. And they go in this big conversation. Most of this like second issue is them being like, I have to kill him. And he's like, no, you can't. Like, you're still, you shouldn't do that. Like, I kill for you.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
Right.
That's making me feel better. Blah, blah, blah. Right. It shows her dad back in the past, the flashback. He like has a heart attack.
Damn.
passes out. So they're kind of signifying in these other flashbacks that she kind of has this like monster in her as well, where she is like staring at him, but in her head she's like kicking him. I think she sees like a raven later, and she's looking at it, and then she's pretending she's breaking its neck.
Oh, damn.
In her mind.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of signifying like, yo, there might be a monster inside of her. Goes into David's background. He's obviously just like a piece of shit when it comes to women. It's like all these different panels of him being like, I know you're gonna leave, just do it, fucking bitch. Like literally, like, you fucking bitch. And just,
oh my god.
He says it twice. So he's a piece of shit, and he's like, yeah, I only slept with her, and I just kept doing it because it's not a big deal. Like, real bad dude.
Yeah.
You see, oh, now it's just us in the middle of nowhere. Do you think we're just friends, or could there be more? So total creep, showing up at doorsteps, like telling chicks, like, you keep ignoring me, I'm just going to show up at your door. So, like, bad guy.
Pretty much the worst idea you can do.
Right.
There's really not a whole lot worse. I mean, showing up to their job is worse.
Job, house is pretty creepy.
Yeah.
And really bad.
That's so
and just
bad.
straight up be like, I'm going to show up.
I'm covered.
I'm covered. I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have this conversation going throughout the books. Like, and I'm jumping around a little bit.
Yeah.
It's against my normal storytelling. So if it's off, I apologize. But they end up talking about like this thing, like letting it off the hook. Apparently it's like doing that terrifies him. And for some reason, she like wants him to do it, I believe. And he wants to do it, but he knows it's going to be bad. I can't let the monster just take over.
Okay.
Because apparently he doesn't control it at all.
Yeah, he can let it out.
He lets it out. It does what it wants to do. It likes JC because she fed him.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why he followed her. It wasn't David being like, I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah, I got you.
So, like, when he changed, she's like, what are you? And then he's like, oh, you know, it happened one night, blah, blah, blah. So they go into it a little later.
Yeah.
And like, so this is all, like I said, interspersed with, like, flashbacks. She goes to, like, a new foster home, and they're, like, super nice, like, really great. He even comments later in the comics, like, it smelled awesome over there. Like, it smelled nice.
Right.
No abuse I could smell in there.
Wow.
But she's still having these, like, memories and, like, little visions of her ripping the bird and then the actual nice old couple to shreds.
Right.
And she sees herself as the dog, basically. Like, the dog's coming out of her to kill people. And nothing happens of it. She's just staring. She's just seeing it in her head, right? So, like, one day she actually wishes, there's like, fuck, I wish you were stronger to the dog. And he comes back the next day a little bit bigger. So it's like almost she has, like, some kind of influence on it.
Yeah.
So it's like listening to her. And she's like, oh, there's no way you're still here. And she looks out the window of her new foster home, and he's, like, chilling.
Nice.
So she's like, awesome. So now they have a plan in the present time to attack this politician. They're like, this is full of security everywhere.
I was going to say, that's like one of the hardest people.
It doesn't say, like, president. It might be president. I don't recall.
Yeah, I'd seen if he's local and whatnot, he's probably a local.
Either way, some douchey fucking politician.
Yeah.
And obviously a bad guy doing something with kids.
Yeah.
Don't know what, but they never say. Obviously, it's traumatic and it's abuse. So
yeah, it smells bad.
they're doing abuse. That's what it is. So anyway, she runs away from the foster home, and the dog's following her. And that's when he changes, and she's like, let me see here. Oh, the creature followed you. It wasn't my choice. It likes you because you bring food. Mm-hmm. And then she was like, how did it happen? And then he's like, this is it. One night, he left the bar. He got scratched on his cheek, and that's it.
Yeah.
3 fucking panels, bro. That's it.
That's funny.
The only text that accompanies it is, I didn't know why it had happened or even what it was. I just got to a point where I was either going to change or I never would. So what is that signifying? That he decided to become a monster?
Yeah, what the hell?
Is he the good guy because he kills bad guys? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
So randomly, she'll just like attack him.
What the fuck?
Like when they first met, she was like, so if I tried to hurt you, the monster would stop me. And he was like, maybe. And she tries, and it does.
Yeah.
But then there's like multiple flashbacks of her like doing that to him, just in the middle of a crowded area attacking him. What? later it happens again. She gets pissed off and just tries to kill him.
Right.
I guess that's the trauma, right?
Yeah.
From the abuse, possibly?
Yeah.
So they go steal a gun. He this part's actually pretty cool. Oh, I didn't say. Let me do the faces.
Oh, okay.
This is our segment. How are the faces?
How are the faces?
The faces. The art is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You've been seeing the pictures, right?
It's cool.
I love it. I think it's great. So that is 1+
Yeah.
from me. Is like the art is incredible.
It looked cool.
I loved it. So yeah, that was our segment. How are the faces? Faces were cool too. You could always tell who they were.
Who.
You just couldn't tell when it was.
Yeah.
Because the shirts were different colors, so I had to figure that out a few times. It was like, oh, this is a flashback. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is present time. Got it.
I should have given her like different hair or something.
Exactly. And the age doesn't like
You
make
can't really
her
tell.
look different really.
Yeah.
12 to 18, she's pretty similar. Really. Anyway, so he turns into like a little snake and slithers in this like drug house, this place where they're selling drugs. And he finds a gun, whooshes out and gives it to her. So they're all strapped up. They're doing their like memorize the details of the plan. This is what we're going to do. And he's like, if I say it over and over, the beast will remember. Okay. Because he's got to rely on it to get in and do stuff.
Shit,
so
okay.
he has to tell it. They're like ordering stuff, packages. So the night comes. He turns into a snake. He goes in the chimney and he like pushes some buttons and all the guards go and they're like, there's a breach in the perimeter, and they go check it out. She just walks in the front, like front gate, front door, just walks straight back to his room. And obviously this is her perspective, but he's like huge.
Yeah, he's
and like
been, like,
towering,
huge, like in like most of it.
which he's not though. He's just a
Yeah.
regular dude, but like towers over her. And she basically freezes up and he just does all the talking where he's like, these are wild accusations. She's like, you took my brother. He's like, if you tell me who your brother is, like maybe he's like, oh, we've met. He's like, you wouldn't remember it clearly, but your dad used to send me pictures of you.
Huh.
And then he said, I only knew him from a mailing list, about 6 of us, all locals. And he's like, I'm pretty sure we had similar childhoods. And he's like, I don't know how to deal with this, and we can talk about it. And I decided not to feel the fear. And like, it's weird. They're like almost he's trying to like bond over like, hey, I was fucked up too. That's the reason I do this. Maybe
that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Let go. I think maybe the message he's trying to get to her.
Okay.
So he ended up taking the gun, and he's like, I have nobody I can talk to about this stuff. My friends on that list are all gone. And he just opens the door and lets her leave. So she runs out. David comes back. He's naked. He's like, don't look. And he's like, are you in there in the tent? And she's like, yeah. He goes in and he says, Christ, what happened? I thought, and then she tries to kill him again.
What the hell, man?
Trauma, bro. And then, that's the flashbacks to all the time she did it in public.
Okay.
And so this is a pretty long flashback where it's her trying to convince him, like, hey, since you can smell trouble and trauma, like, why don't we go, like, hunt down these bad guys?
Work together on this.
Yeah,
type of
so
thing. Yeah.
he, like, denies her for, like, years till she turns 18. He's like, if I took you to these places and these people, it would be child abuse. And she was like, oh, whatever, like, been there, done that type thing.
Yeah.
That's what she said, not me. Then she turns 18 and she was like, he's finally like, lets her, they do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, the deal was only I kill, you don't kill. So she's never killed anyone.
Right.
So she's in there, she's mad. She's like, I froze up. I didn't know what to do. And he was like, I hoped you didn't want to. And she's like, I kind of didn't, which is weird. So she's conflicted about all this. Now, this is where all the wild nonsense starts. The politician puts out a police report. All the people in the compound are looking for her. Everyone's looking for her. They don't know about him. So they're like, dogs are chasing him. There's a helicopter. That's the end of the chapter. Next chapter is like, oh, we got away for a few seconds. They don't come back. The helicopter's gone. The dogs, like nothing. They just got away for a little bit. I don't know how. So they enact another plan. They said something about he can't do it. He has to make it official with the cops and the guards and the news reports. Like, he has to make it official. I don't know what they meant. I thought maybe he had to make it official so he could abuse them. Like, he can't kill her or whatever he does without catching her for trying to assassinate him first. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, he sneaks in to the politician's office as a dog. His secretary's like, "Oh, this search dog snuck in."
Oh, yeah.
He goes and scratches his cheek just like happened to him.
Yeah.
So as he's sitting there, the politician's like, "No, you get out. Take the dog. Like, thank you." And as he's sitting there, he like sniffs. He's just like. So now JC and David are like waiting for the politician. They're like, he's coming. And he's going to be brand new at this. So he is now a giant, like, red and black.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Why did they just give him power, basically?
So when I was like, okay, there was no signal that he had these powers at all.
Yeah.
But it was the scratch that did it.
Yeah.
So that's why they had kept it mysterious for his, is it's just a scratch. So somewhere didn't show them figuring this out. He goes and scratches him and goes, okay, now he'll turn into a monster.
Okay.
Yep.
Comics.
This comic.
Yeah.
So anyway, turns into a big slimy red and black monster.
He looks cool.
Art's awesome, like I said. He looks great.
Dope.
He comes out. They're talking. The big wolf comes out. They start fighting. Big cool dude. The art is sick.
Yeah. No, I like it.
Especially the fight looks awesome.
I like the colors.
So basically, the ending here is the wolf turns into what he needs most. And because he wants to take care of her is why he's a beast. She needed a dog, and then she needed a monster.
Yeah.
And right now she needs a monster as well, right? So she said, so if you pushed it further, it doesn't work like that. JC, I have no more left to give. She said, no, I don't mean you, right? So she starts yelling out loud, remember what we talked about, how the more you let the curse take hold, the more you change. Let it take you. Let it make you invulnerable. And the politician's like, oh, shit, there's more? He's like, oh, I can feel it. I just have to let it take me too. And then he starts, like, disappearing. The monster skin starts disappearing. You see the guy. He starts changing. He turns into himself, the regular politician wearing the suit. And then the next panel, he turns into a baby.
Right.
He's a little regular little white baby just laying in front of him. And they say, shit, he wanted power, but deep inside, that's what he needed. And he didn't know, I guess. So she picks up a stick and she's like totally about to kill this baby. And David's like, no. And then he stops. He's like, just watches her.
Yeah.
She's crying. This is okay. She goes, she decides not to kill the baby.
Okay.
And then she goes, it wouldn't make any difference. He'll always be in here, pointing to her head. And then the next panel, she goes, but he's not in there. Shit. What do we do now? And then they go drop the baby off at the politician's office with all his workers, which I was like, that's cool.
That's funny.
And then, don't know why he's a baby. And then they rush off. They're having a fire. And she's like, this is the best part. And they're just like holding each other by a fire. The end. I don't want to slag shit off, bro. I don't want to talk bad on writers, but not only did I not like this, but like I didn't think it was good.
Yeah.
It was confusing panel to panel. There wasn't enough taking care to let me know this is a flashback. You figure it out later. And you know what? Maybe it's not bad. It's frustrating. It's a little too unobtainable for a reader.
Made you work for it.
It's exhausting. That I was like, oh, I have to scroll back up. Oh, he's wearing this shirt. His hair's a little longer. Flashback. Okay. So I'm having to figure it out. Oh, this is the past.
Like retroactively, basically.
That she's wearing a vest with like fur coming out, like on the inside.
Yeah.
And she's wearing it the entire comic, basically. There's a few shots where she's real young, 12 years old, that she's not wearing it.
Right.
But for the most part, once she leaves home, she's always wearing that jacket.
Wow.
So the only difference is her pant color and her shirt, her undershirt color.
Wow.
He has multiple blue or dark-ish jackets with the fur, different colors, and his hair will be different lengths.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
But the flashback when he turned to the monster, he had short hair. He had short hair for most of the comic. So there were flashbacks where he had the same hair that he has now.
Yeah.
Same as her. she's wearing a white undershirt, and then in the present, she's wearing a white undershirt. They show me that glitchy thing at the end of the panel where it's like, okay, this is her memory fading. This is the trauma and abuse
that's what
fucking with her head.
It's what it's trying to show.
But then they do it in the present time.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
What is that? Like, it definitely wasn't for me. I like the concept, though. I love the idea of being like, oh, he turns into a monster. They're hunting bad guys. But I get that's not what it was about.
Yes.
I think the monster is like the monster inside.
It's metaphors.
Yes, it's a bunch of fucking metaphors.
Yeah.
Even though it ended in a monster. What's the
Like
fucking baby?
Heavy-handed metaphors.
What's with the baby? Yeah, real heavy-handed.
So when you said that, it's either that he needed to have a childhood that wasn't terrible and fucked up, so that he went back to make that possible, or it was more like literal and he liked babies. That's what he needed. Yeah. Right? It said that what he needed, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So, like I said, those are my two guesses.
And David said he tried it. He let it take over.
Yeah.
But no, he did it off panel. You didn't see it. Yeah. And he was like, it wasn't bad at all.
Right.
And that was it. That was all he said about it.
All right. So those are my two.
So, and he said, I didn't turn into a baby, but I think that's a good point, is that he needed a childhood that is not going to be
didn't
abused
create
and
a monster
up.
from.
So he got abused
he has a new chance.
and became a monster.
Yes.
He abused children
yes.
in his younger days when she was young.
Yes.
She turns into a monster.
Yes.
He turns into a monster, which, why did he turn?
Why did they give him the ability to turn into a monster?
Why not her? Why him? He was just a piece of shit towards women.
Yeah.
So why is he? Is that signifying that he got worse?
That's how you turn into a monster? Like, I don't know.
Is he truly, like, is he a monster now? Is he worse because of that now? Like,
yeah, I don't
did
know.
he make a decision? Okay, real quick. Is he good because he kills bad guys, or because he treated women so bad, he turns into a literal monster?
All right.
They didn't clarify that for me. And maybe I'm just fucking dumb. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, didn't like it.
It's going to happen.
Didn't get what they were trying to do in a lot of it. Dialogue was off. Art was fucking amazing.
It was cool.
Art was dope.
It looked really cool.
Sorry to slag it off. If y'all ever hear this, my bad, but shit wasn't for me.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Man, I was like, I'm not going to be mean. I'm not going to say, but man, fuck that shit.
You gotta be honest.
Yeah, it just bugged me. Like,
oh, it was so awesome when you didn't like it.
Nah, it definitely wasn't awesome. And like, I was reading it again today and was like, man, like I can't go in this like just talking shit. I don't want to. Yeah. There was a lot of, like I said, the concept was cool. There's a lot of cool stuff, but it just did not land at all.
The whole amalgamation wasn't great.
Now, that's not saying you could read it and totally be like, fuck, I get it, bro.
Yeah.
I get all of it. It all makes sense to me. Maybe the way she acts is a little closer to someone who had experiences that I didn't. I don't know. But the way it came off to me was just strange and weird, disjointed, and exhausting.
Yeah.
10 thumbs up.
Mm-hmm. Yo, I'm getting hyped like we're fighting already. I got W, which I got before, and the last W I did was Witch Doctor, which was amazing. I don't know if I said it on the show, but I went back and I bought the second one because I liked it.
You said you weren't going to. You said you hated it.
That's just a straight up lie.
Yeah, dog.
But no, I bought the second one. It was dope. So whenever I got W, me and you kind of went back and forth of what it would be smart for me to do, and we decided that definitely wasn't the right thing to do.
Save it.
So I went to half price like I normally do, and this was one of the harder least choices, not hard selection, because whenever I saw my choices, which I'm about to talk about, it was Wonder Woman,
obviously,
like just huge stack of Wonder Woman, and there was like 5 other titles. Right. Walking Dead was one of them, and then the other like 3 or 4 were smaller titles that are the stuff I look for.
Yep.
Basically. So I'm looking through it, and there's one called We Kill Monsters, which is a Red 5 comic.
Oh yeah.
I almost did a third Red 5 comic. I was like coming in for the
third time's the charm,
yeah,
right?
and because was their most popular one.
We Kill Monsters.
Yeah, the art in it was I even especially back then I was not into it. That's the reason I didn't read it back then. But apparently the story's really good and blah blah blah. Characters look cute. They're like very cartoony, cutish looking.
I don't like that.
And it was their most popular comic.
Right.
I'm pretty sure when they came out. So I saw that and I was like, I don't know.
You have a good track record.
Yeah,
with Red 5.
That would have been the third one. So I was like, I don't know. And then I saw a Vertigo comic and I was like, that looks dope. What is that? And it's called The Wake. And so we don't do so it's Wake. So it's written by Scott Snyder and the artist is.
Is it in the W's?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
exactly.
that counts.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Writer Scott Snyder, which I might have done one of his already. I know I've read a bunch of his stuff, but on the show I might have done him already.
Zack Snyder's cousin.
Illegitimate cousin.
Nephew.
Illegitimate
nephew.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There it
is. And like I said, artist is Sean Murphy, who kills it. This is a beautiful. I showed you a little bit of the art. No, that was the other thing I showed you. I showed you my other new comic that I bought. Yeah, no, the art in this is buck wild. Here, just take a look real quick before I get deep into the comic. This is actually a 10-issue collection.
Ooh, I like this.
So it's not 5 issues or 6 issues. It's 10 issues.
He's going to do all 10, so strap in, everyone.
Almost. Luckily, like, if I wanted to, I really could kind of give you a big outline of the story in like 5 minutes. I could pretty much give you like a huge broad outline of the whole thing in like 5
Yeah,
10 minutes.
you don't go into like a lot of dialogue.
No, I try not to do any dialogue because I want somebody to be able to go back and read it.
That's pretty hot.
Oh man, the characters are amazing in it. The character designs in it are dope. Let's do the faces now.
Okay, go
All
ahead.
right, here's our part called
our segment.
Our segment, thank you. How are the faces? The faces are dope. They are not extremely distinctive. Like there's 2 guys in it that look kind of similar, but they're wearing different clothes, so it's not hard to tell the difference.
Right.
So as long as one guy wears a hat, the other guy doesn't. So I mean, you instantly know if it's one guy or the other.
You see the similar build though. That's what I think.
It's a similar build, and they just kind of have kind of similar faces, like. The older middle-aged white guys. So like, kind of generally. Oh yeah, there's some good parts in there, bro.
Oh my god.
So it's 1 through 10. This came out in 2013 through 2014. Like I said, it's 10 issues. So that spanned from part of 1 year to the part of the next year. This compilation or this trade paperback came out in 2014. So it came out, the original copies came out 2013 through the beginning of 2014. And then at the end of 2014, I believe this came out.
Yeah, they always take a while to do those.
Yeah, and apparently it's the winner of the 2014 Eisner Award for the Best Limited Series.
The Bob Eisner Award.
Yeah, and so that the limited series means this is like a true graphic novel, meaning, not a true graphic because it wasn't released all at once, blah, blah, blah. But it's the beginning, middle, and end of the story. So this is your full thing. You don't have to...
Your full thing.
10 issues gets your entire story arc, which is awesome. That's perfect. I love that. So
yeah, I like that too.
So if you've ever seen the movie, I think it's called Underwater. There's parts of this.
No one's seen this movie.
It's such a big... Bro, you're the only one that doesn't know what I'm talking about. So there's parts... The beginning of this is kind of that movie. So I don't know which one... I think that movie came out after this would have been released, so they might have pulled a lot from here, to be honest. It seemed like there's a lot. So we start out with our main character, Lee Archer. She is a oceanographer. Or no, she works specifically with dolphins, cetaceanologists. So cetaceans are whales and dolphins, so she works with cetaceans. She used to work for NOAA, which is the National Oceanic Agency or whatever. It's like the governmental arm of the not the Navy, not the Coast Guard, but all the merchant vessels and the research vessels and whatnot.
Yeah.
They do the weather and stuff. Like they're important. So she used to work for there. She got kicked out because they were doing experiments with sonar, and it killed a bunch of whales. So she quit, basically, got fired, quit. Now she works privately. She's working with whales in I don't remember where they said. Maybe in like New Hampshire or somewhere like that.
There's a lot of whales there.
There is. So like it
That's
was
why I
somewhere.
said it, yeah.
I know. It was somewhere around there. It really was. And so we open up with her like cruising on a boat, checking out whales. She's talking to her estranged son that she only gets to see for 2 months out of the year. On like a cell phone, like they're FaceTiming. Oh, okay. And he every summer he goes and lives with her, and they get along really well. They love each other. He loves doing the whale thing, so she's like showing him the whales, and he's getting excited. Blah blah blah. So a helicopter comes and lands, and what's his name? The guy is Astor Cruz. Weird. He just goes by Agent Cruz.
Okay.
He lands in a helicopter and he starts talking to her. He's like, "Hey, you're the best at whale shit and whatnot, cetaceans, you know." And she goes, "If y'all are trying to do more of the sonar shit, I'm not gonna work. I'm not gonna stay silent." She thinks he's there to silence her. Is what he. Right. She thinks he's there to intimidate her and to stop talking about the sonar thing because it's supposed to be secret, blah blah blah. He's like, "No man, that's not at all what I'm here for." And she starts guessing. He's like, "No, none of those things are why I'm here." And she goes, "Well then tell me, why are you here?" He goes, "I want you to listen to something." So he shows her a sound, and she instantly, it's like a it's kind of like they show it giant, like E-E-O-I-I-E-I-O-O. So that's my guess.
Yeah.
And like it's supposed to be kind of like a whale. They said it's kind of similar to a whale call. And
sound like some whale shit.
And it like sparks something in her head. He's like, "You've heard this before?" And she goes, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." He goes, "Well, I want you to come analyze this noise at the base where we recorded it. We need your help to decide what's going on, blah, blah, blah." And she was like, "No, I won't do it." And he's like, "I'll give you like a bunch of money." And she's like, "No, I don't want to do that." And he was like, I will get you reinstated with NOAA, which would pretty much like get her set. She could work her like what she wants to do forever, basically.
Right.
And she was like, "No." And he goes, "I can get your son back." And she goes, "How?" And he goes, "Money." He goes, "The reason you haven't been able to fight legally for your son is you have no money." Yeah. He goes, "I'll give you as much money and access to our lawyers, and we'll get your son back." And she goes, "How long we're going to be gone?" He's like, 8 days. She goes, "All right, let's go."
Fuck.
So they take off. They're going to the east slope of the mountains in Alaska. They probably said what mountain, but the east slope of the mountains in Alaska.
Mount Alaska.
Yeah. You know what? I bet there is a Mount Alaska.
It totally
I
is.
bet there is. So they land, and there's like nothing there. She's like, "I thought we were landing at base camp." And she goes, "Tents, cars." He goes, "Oh, that's a little below our pay grade." And he opens up like a secret door, and they go down like under the ice, and it's a giant facility under the ice. And she goes into a room and she meets the other people that got brought in for this team. He didn't tell her there was going to be other people on the team. Right. And she says that. She goes, "You didn't tell me there was going to be people on the team." And he goes, "I didn't tell you there wasn't, though, did I?" And so she meets the other people there.
Shut up.
They need her. Like if they didn't need this chick, they would have not brought her. Yeah, they wouldn't have brought her. So she meets the other people that are there.
What's her name again? Lee, right?
Yeah, Lee Archer.
Lee Archer.
Yeah. Her name's Lee Archer. Her son's name is Parker.
One word, Lee Archer?
No.
His name's Archer Parker?
Parker Archer.
Parker Archer?
Yeah, Parker Archer.
Stupid.
Pretty bad.
That was a bad name.
The other way's worse, though.
Parker Parcher.
Yeah, that was
that's
way worse.
Parker
That's
Archer.
so bad. Okay.
I don't like saying it.
It's like a double firsty. So she meets other people that are this guy's just like a folklore and mythology expert.
All right.
So like she's like, "That's weird.
Why the fuck
we're
is he
talking
here?"
about whales?" And we were talking about whales. What? And then she meets the other guy. His name's Meeks. They say his first name, and they said it once, but everybody calls him Meeks. So he's like a very interesting guy. He is a multi-billionaire who lives in a submarine base in international waters, and he poaches very rare sea creatures and sells it on the black market. So he's the most specific guy ever in the history of the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's super crazy. Like, he's like a trophy hunter under the sea. That's the best way.
That's how he got super rich?
No, he was rich as balls, and that's his like hobby.
Oh,
and he makes
he's
like he makes a butt ton of money from the illegal shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think that's how he originally got all his money, but that's how he keeps his money.
Right.
For sure. And so
sweet gig.
So he gets introduced. kind of introduced she to the.
Is that the sub he lives on? Is
no,
this
that's
base?
not his sub.
Okay.
So we figured that stuff out. We actually find out. It doesn't matter when I say it. We find out he does have his own spot.
Oh damn! Okay.
Like they say the spot, but that spot's not near. He has his own spot at the base that they're about to go to, and his own sub for that base. So he's got his own shit.
Right.
He's got his own shit because he designed
super rich. Yeah.
They did okay. So I'm getting ahead of myself. So the Meeks guy, and then she finds out that her old Noah boss Bob Wainwright is also there. So like one of the few people she like hates. She hates this dude.
Of course. Yeah.
And so he obviously didn't tell her that he was going to be there.
Right.
So they're all there. The guy's kind of explaining what's going on, and he's like, maybe if I don't want to go, and the other guy Meeks was like, oh, it's too late. And he looks out the window. They're already on a sub going down to they call it like a secret, or stealth, what they call it, a black drill site.
It's a secret.
A secret drill site, whatever. So they're like made a oil drilling site down at the bottom of the ocean illegally. And the Meeks guy is the one who designed it. So he got rich from designing underwater architecture. I remember, and doing
rare creatures.
Rare creatures. That's they actually say that when they introduce him.
Sweet
so
cake.
they go on down to the base. It's mostly for a drilling site, but they also do science shit there, of course.
Whale shit.
And actually no whale shit. They just heard the whale, got the whale noise or whatever.
Oh, it's about the noise. My bad.
Yeah,
I'll still focus on the whale shit.
So they go down and they're like, hey, what's going on? We're a very eclectic group of people. What's going on here? Why are we here? And he goes, well, I'm about to show you whatever. So they open the door to the base, the underground base, and a guy's head pops up, and everything around his eye has been like bitten out. So his eye's like kind of poking out. It's not like hanging out, but like he's got like no flesh around it. Yeah. So it looks really gross, like a zombie kind of almost, and he's all bloody, and he's screaming, and they're like, what the hell's going on? And one of the ladies that works there, she's like, he only opened the tank for a second. He only opened it for 1 second. And so they like pass each other. The guy's injured going this way to the medical, and our crew with Lee Archer and all the other people went the other way. Mm-hmm. They're passing each other basically. So they go into a room, and then there's a giant not giant tank, a very large 12-foot, 14-foot tall tank of water with a mermaid in it. It's like a merman.
Merman.
Like a merman. He looks dope. Like, they look dope. In the sketchbook part at the back, they show all their ideas of how they wanted to make the merman look. Mm-hmm. And I think the ones they ended up with actually look really dope. Like, there's just his face. They look kind of like a, what are they called? Not the lanternfish. The, Anglerfish. Their heads kind of look like anglerfishes.
Oh, okay.
They don't really have the...
Not a hot mermaid.
No, definitely not.
Do they talk?
Well, yes, to each other. They can't. They do that. They're the ones making the ooey ooey ooey. Oh. So like isn't a secret. We learned that right now.
Right.
So he's like, all right, we needed you here because we heard this noise and it's coming from them. It seems like there's communication. Blah 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 blah. I'm going to bring it up. Have you ever heard of the loneliest whale in the world? The 52 hertz whale? Or 54 hertz, one or the other?
I think so.
So it's one whale that all the other whales are way lower hertz, like 5-10 times lower hertz.
Yeah.
And this one whale sings on a completely different, and it's the only one. They don't even know what kind of whale it is. They're not even 100% sure it's a whale. Mm. So, but their scientists are 100% sure it's a whale. Right. Skeptics or crazy people don't know it's a whale, basically.
Man, it might not be a whale,
cryptid
bro.
hunters and stuff don't know if it's a whale. But
it's
a whale.
Creature, yeah.
So she brings that up, and she's like, they kind of throw that story of that into this story where this whale is a whale, but it was attacked by these mer people when it was a baby, and it heard the mer people talking like that, so it was just copying the mer people. That's why it doesn't sound like the other whales. And it seems to be she's right, and she kind of just guessed this.
Nice.
So that was the one part where it was a logical leap that I didn't like. Right. That was silly, but other than that, like, it's cool. So
it's a cool idea. Yeah, it's how they came to it.
Yeah.
So
that's
cool.
They try to explain everything in this.
Yeah.
So
10 fucking issues.
Yeah. So like I said, we apologize for spoiling everything. I'm actually not going to completely spoil this one for once.
I will.
I have not spoiled any of them. I've completely said everything, the entire story for all of them. I don't ever worry about holding
not
back.
Spoil.
Yeah, because I don't. There's enough in there where you can go back and always have fun reading it.
Yeah.
Because I'm just outlying or whatever.
I leave nothing.
So the end of the like twist cool part at the end of this, I will skip. We'll still get pretty much to the end, but I'm just gonna skip the twist part, the Shyamalan twist. But I wouldn't call it a Shyamalan.
Is it good?
Because it's good. Yeah, nice. Exactly.
Burn, you got him. You got him.
So we get a little bit of cool flashbacks to like 100,000 years ago to 5 million years ago.
That's a long time.
And all these tiny little quick flashbacks do end up being explained like at the back end. Like all these are very important. Like this caveman drawing paintings is super important. These merman fish using a mammoth as bait to catch a megalodon is pretty sick. Like look.
Oh dang.
And this is when the mermen were not full mermen. They still had legs.
Nice.
So this is just a transitional period of the mermen. So they do cool flashbacks that are completely explained later. Like all that stuff, like is not important, but is relevant.
Right,
it's relevant.
Right.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. The lady's going to our lady Lee Archer is going to her office or her room or whatever. She's just kind of hanging out in her room, and she has a hallucination that her son's there, like a strong hallucination. She never has had that before. So that happens and it's gone instantly. And then they go and they meet and they start talking about the mermaid together. They're all finally getting together, talking about who Meeks is. This is actually where we find out who Meeks was and how he got rich and stuff. And then we find out how they caught the mermaid and how they brought it back. It killed a few people, but they were able to salvage it. And then our mythology guy starts explaining what a raindrop is in just mythology and whatnot. A raindrop is something. So like a raindrop would be like a manatee, because manatees were the basis of mermaids and whatnot.
Right.
So it's the real thing, whatever real that inspires a myth. So something real that inspires a myth. And that's what he calls this mermaid. He said that's a raindrop.
Like all of every single X-Files episode.
Yes, exactly.
In the first 2 seasons.
All the good seasons.
Yeah.
So he explains the raindrop as a drip of water hits water, and then the waves come out from it, and they spread out, and blah, blah, blah. So he's like kind of explaining that all cultures have merman people in their mythology and whatnot.
Except they're looking at one. Like they're fucking,
what do you mean? He's not saying they're not real.
Yeah,
he's saying that they are real, and that's why all the cultures had them in there.
Oh, because in our world it'd be reversed. Like, we see a beluga whale with their knees fucking sticking out, and you're like, that's a person.
That's a person.
So it's like okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I got you now. Sometimes whenever you say stuff and I'm trying to do my story, I honestly don't pay that much attention to it because I'm trying to remember where I'm
hilarious and you don't ever laugh.
Whenever I was editing our last one, you said 2 or 3 things that I 100% did not hear at all. And whenever I was editing, I was laughing at it. And I was like, you could tell I didn't hear you because like the way I didn't, because when I hear you, I have a pause almost before I start talking again, even if I don't.
You didn't stop.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. Like you were said it a little quiet, but like I did not notice. So they're all discussing what's the deal with this mermaid.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
So what are they trying to figure out?
So
like where it's from?
Yeah, they're worried. They're worried about it being there, and that. So they weren't looking for the mermaid.
Right.
Nobody was looking. It showed up on their illegal.
Like, what the hell is this?
The illegal drill site. And then the drill people contacted Noah or whoever, and they're trying to figure out if it's an alien, if it's been there forever, what's going on.
There's a whole fucking race of them.
They want to know about it. And
got it.
They do this thing where they keep showing Archer having to use eye drops, and she has some sort of keratosis problem or something with her eyes that she doesn't create liquid for her eyes. Oh, damn. So she has to use saline liquid to drop in her eyes.
Just constantly.
And that ends up being like a point, like a part, not super crucial, but a point in the later story, which I thought was cool. Yeah, because they don't make a huge issue of it. Like I knew it was gonna come back up again.
Well, obviously,
but
it's the smoking gun.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Is it called Smoking Gun? The gun in the first act.
Yeah, it's
the gun theory, right?
It's got an actual name though. I'm gonna remember whenever I'm telling the story. So they're all still sitting around trying to figure out what's going on. She's listening to the recording over and over, trying to figure out what's going on. And then our injured guy starts hallucinating that his wife's there. And his wife is fucking banging, dude. Like, if that's what his wife actually looks like, this dude's crazy for leaving. I would never leave that chick.
Good for him, right?
Yeah. So they already discussed this, and they figured out that the mermaid has hallucinogenic powers. It can either straight up squirt you like with goop, like a cobra kinda, or it can like vapor. So the goop is like you're down, like not down, but you're in it. With the vapor, she saw her son. Remember a minute ago I said she hallucinated her son? So she didn't touch him. He didn't squirt her, but she was next to the tank. Yeah, I know what I said. And she's next to the tank, so she had a minor hallucination.
So wait. If you had like a cool merman, and can he make him like good dreams?
Oh, so yeah. So look, that's what this guy is doing.
Oh, he's seeing his injured guy. Wife.
Yeah, he's having an amazing dream right now.
Okay, so could you use it as a drug?
You can't even say it's a yes, 100%. I definitely thought about it. He was injured, and he brought him back, or got him to get up and walk like over there, and he's seeing his hot ass wife. His wife's like, "Hey, I need you to open this or do whatever." And you see in the end that it's just the mer person.
Oh yeah,
and
kisses.
Yeah, then you get a loud scream, and everybody comes running, and you see that
he's out.
He's like dead or whatever. The guy. Injured guy. Yeah.
So it's the guy with the eye missing.
Eye missing from the beginning or earlier. So now we do a tiny little jump. It's got one panel of the moon landing, then it's got one panel of the moon exploding, and then it's got a panel of our next main character on the Earth watching the moon explode.
Cool.
And then they don't talk about that again for a while.
The future.
It is 100%. It's not that this is the book split up into two parts.
I saw that. Yeah.
Current and future. 200 years from now.
Oh,
so damn. Now and 200 years from now. So, and then we get a shot of the
planet Namek.
3.8 billion years ago, something landing, like a meteor landing on Earth. Oh, shit. We learn later that it's actually not a meteor. It's a seed, something they... Never mind.
You don't remember?
No, I do 100%. Sorry, because I said I wasn't gonna spoil any of the end, and I was literally about to get into it. So no, that's why I did that. I'm not dumb. I didn't forget what I was saying. I just had to stop myself. All right, so those cool little flashes. Like I love that, and those were between comics. So like the blowing up moon was the end of one,
and then
the few panels on the next one is the beginning of it.
Okay.
And then we see our lady Lee Archer and her son on Earth, like during their summers. Like he only gets to be there during the summers. We see that they're very close, blah blah blah. And then she kind of wakes up. Somebody screams at her to wake up, and the mermaid's right there, making her hallucinate, thinking that the mermaid's her son. The mermaid was like about to get her. Basically, it looks like the mermaid was about to get her, and our guy that picked her up, Cruz, Agent Cruz, comes in and he like saves her from the mermaid. He gets bit really bad, and so he starts to like hallucinate and whatnot. And then our badass Meeks, the billionaire sea killer guy, he pops up wearing like a duffel bag full of guns and like a scuba suit. He's got bandoliers all over him. He's got like different kinds of pistols, and he is set, bro. Yeah. He is set. He's like
waiting for this.
He's like, can I kill it now? Am I allowed to kill it now? Because earlier when he got there, he was like, the only reason you'd bring me here is to kill something.
To kill something?
Yeah. And
that's like, what I do.
Yeah, that's what I do. And they were like, no, you're not allowed to kill it. And so in this one, he's like, can I kill it now?
Nice.
Am I allowed to kill it now?
Does he start blasting?
He does immediately. He does not care. So the mermaid deuces out. They start talking about the hallucinations and stuff that the mermaid gives you, and so they start understanding it a little more. they start evacuating because the merman like busted like a hole in one of the walls to outside.
Oh shit.
And so like water's starting to kind of drain in. And then Bob, the guy she hates, her old boss, is in his room packing up to leave, and they're like screaming at him over like the intercom, dude, Bob, we got to get out of here. And then Lee comes in, she's like, Bob, we got to go, leave your stuff. And they start walking, and then his arm comes off, and he's like, what? And she turns into the mermaid. It's the mermaid hallucination again. And he thought it was Lee, but it was really just the mermaid ripping his arm off.
Oh shit.
So it was really cool. He thought it was Lee, and it ends up being the mermaid. He rips his arm off. And Lee comes up because she's going to get Bob. Like the mermaid was tricking.
Yeah.
So she goes in there, sees that Bob is murked. Like he's dead. So she slams the door to lock him in there. And the merman just busts through, like, I'm guessing at least slightly reinforced glass. It's not like it was a jail cell or anything. It was just somebody's apartment.
Someone shelled. Oh, okay.
He busts straight through the like glass, and he's chasing our guys. And it's not just the people I talked about. There's a bunch of workers on this platform too. I didn't say that though. So let me make that clear. There's a bunch of workers. So they're all trying to leave. And here's the part where we finally see a full squirt from the mermaid's hallucination.
Oh, he squirted
juice. He squirts it from like not from the edge of his jaw. From the corners of his jaw.
It's like gleeking.
Yeah. Oh, gross. Yeah. So he gets Meeks directly like in the eyes. And he instantly is eating a beluga whale. Yeah, he's like, oh, crap. But he's so good at this, he just starts shooting. He can't even see what's going on. He just starts shooting and trying to fight it because he knows. He knows instantly what's going on. He can't see what's happening. Right. But he's like, I know this dude's what he's doing. So he's like, tries to fight it, and the mermaid kind of... Okay, so the mermaids are like... Obviously. 11 feet tall, maybe, long, 11 feet long or whatever. They're bigger than people. They're obviously much stronger than people. Mm-hmm. So it kind of murks him, or you think he's murked. It looks like he's murked. So he starts chasing down the rest of our crew. They get a door up between them, but they're like, dude, it busted through that other door. It's going to bust through this door quicker. So they're in the sub bay, and they're like, dude, we got to get out of here. We're trying to get out of here. The original sub is like across the spot. We can't go through the rig to get to the other sub spot. So we're in the main sub because they got little subs in their scuba gear.
Rooms and houses
so it's their little gear room. So they're trying to get to the main sub. So they're all like they're hopping in like a little mini sub and wearing scuba gear, and so they're swimming to the sub, and all of a sudden, our chick Lee Archer is like, oh, I realize what the thing was doing. And they're like, what? And they're scuba diving for their life. And she goes, yeah, it wasn't trying to talk to us. And they're like, what does it fucking matter? He goes, oh, it was calling for help. So like over the top of the rig,
oh shit,
it shows like 800 mermen.
Fuck, that's a lot.
Just piling over the top. So they're kind of close to getting to the sub. So then that stops. There's the next issue. It's got a flashback with like modern looking humans meeting up with like Neanderthal looking humans, and in it rolling up a giant laser gun and murking all the Neanderthal looking humans. And then that's it. That's all you get for that. That's all you get. And then so now we jump right back into the high action of the chase scene, basically.
Invasion?
Yeah, like escape scene, chase scene. So they're all swimming as fast as they can. They have these like, they look kind of like lightsabers, but they're just like a super hot piece of metal that they used for like fixing shit and welding. So this is like their like best defense against the mer people. So all of them have them. They're like hitting the mer people off. The one chick's in a little mini sub. The one guy's like murking, and it's not even Meeks. It's just one of the other people. Mercs with some of the mermen.
He looks kind of cool. I like that mask.
Oh, dude, yeah. I didn't show you like they. Where is it? Oh, well, I'll find it later. Their scuba outfits are sick.
Yeah, that's what I thought so.
They look so sick.
Cool.
And so they're all like, there's a whole page of them like trying to escape with like a swirling whirlpool of mermaids coming up behind them. Oh. So cool looking. And then like a bunch of them just straight up get murked by the mermaids. They catch up basically, and they just tear these people apart. So is it just 2 of them that escape? 2 or 3 of our characters escape. We got Archer, we got this chick who worked there before, and then maybe it was and the mythology guy is still alive.
Okay.
So the least likely people to be alive.
Yeah, because
plot
Meeks
armor
is dead.
Plot armor, like
possibly.
a mother. So they finally get to the pressure chamber, and they're closing the door. They're like, dude, we got away, basically. We're gonna get away or whatever. I don't know if it already happened. I think it did already show it happened. The actual main sub got blown up.
Oh, wow.
That they were trying to get to got blown up. So now they're just going back into the rig, basically. So they go into like I said, a pressure chamber. They get out. They're like, oh, crap, we're going to die. They're going to bust through that pressure chamber. And they start busting through the pressure chamber. And the door opens, and it's like it's a merhead with like the eye sticking out. And it looked all gross, and they get kind of scared. But it's Meeks. Oh. It's just Meeks. He killed one of them, and he was, for some reason, jump scaring them with the head.
He's wearing their head?
He was holding it. Oh, no, you're right. You're right. He's got it on a chain. That's why it looks like that. Yeah, he's got it as a souvenir. And then he takes it off immediately, though. In this panel, he has it. In this one, he's dropping it off.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
He had a head. That's awesome.
So they're find out that he had his own area on the rig that had his own like private spot, because he's designed the whole rig.
Right. Yeah.
So he's got his like own like private penthouse or something.
He's like, I have a playground hidden around here too.
Oh God, thank God. They're like, yay, we're gonna get away, and he's like, yes, get away. And so like he's like, hey, I got this cool sub that's my own personal sub. It's got weapons and shit. We'll be all right. If those fucking mermaids are not going to be able to get through our sub, we'll be able to get away. It'll be dope. And they're like, all right, awesome, cool. And then they look behind them, and the whole rig is like blowing up, basically.
His sub?
No, the rig, the main
shit.
base of the rig is just like exploding. And they're so they hop in his sub, and they're about to roll out, and then it does a fucking. Then the mythology guy does a story about mermaids and how these people of this village found a mermaid in their well, and they were mean to it, and the mermaid cursed them, and they sunk that city into the sea, not Atlantis, but somewhere else. And then he talks about how they must have done that a million times, that it was the mermaids that were sinking cities in the past and must have sank Atlantis and whatever. So they're kind of like, dude, this shit don't matter right now.
Yeah,
like,
shut the fuck up.
They're like, hey, how about we get the hell out of here? Because none of that helps. Like, none of that helps.
Nerd.
So they're trying to figure out what to do, how to get out of there. Because they're like, dude, this... hold on, sorry. They... Yeah. So they're trying to figure out how to distract or hurt the mermaids or whatever. So she was realizing, they were affected deeply by loud noises or whatever. So she was like, maybe we can make the loud enough noises to where they'll go away. Mm-hmm. So they turn on the drill for the oil rig and like mess it up, like send it the wrong way or something. Gets super loud, and it starts scaring away like all the mermaids. You're like, hell yeah, look, see, like they're heading back down to where they came from, basically. And the rig starts shaking real violently, and Archer's like, hey, you gotta slow it down, the rig's about to come apart. She goes, it's not even on high yet, it's not that. And Archer goes, oh shit, it's not, it's something else. She goes, what is it? And he goes, something much bigger, check it out. So it looks exactly like the other mer people, except it's, I don't know, 400 feet long or something.
Huge.
300 feet long, something. Bigger than the whole rig.
Yeah, it's showing all the little mermen
next to him, and he looks
swimming around.
They look like not micro, they're little.
Or flying.
Yeah, so they're swimming. That's still underwater. So yeah, it's kind of the same thing. So you get the reveal of the giant person.
Cool.
And then that's, I guess, the end of an issue or whatever. And then we get a flashback to Lee Archer and her dad, and where she first heard that noise. She did hear it. Her and her dad were out. There was an accident, and she heard that noise, and she went underwater and saw a mer person when she was a kid. So we get that little micro flashback to that, and then we're back into the action. The giant mer person just starts tearing apart like parts of the rig and whatnot. And they're like, I don't think it's they're like, I don't think it's trying to like get to us. It could have easily got to us. Like, what's going on? What's the deal? And then she was like, I don't think they're like for us. They're like going past us. So like they're like raging past them. They're not even messing with our homies. And then this is where the mythology guy starts talking about all the floods that happened everywhere, and
he just goes off every now and then.
Yeah, he does exactly. And he's like,
"You ready to
see,
get out
this
of
is
here?"
how
He's
the
like,
floods
in the 1300, and they're like,
God damn, dude, why did he have to live?
Like, what?
Why was him?
Yeah,
why him? All right, so they
That's
get to Meeks's private sub, and they're heading out. And as they're heading out, our chick has another hallucination. It's a bunch of people underwater looking like ghosts, like floating ghosts or something. And then she's like brought back to what's
ghost titties,
to what's actually happening. And they're cruising out, and the mer people see them finally, or notice them or whatever, and they start our sub starts attacking the giant mer person. And they're attacking it.
Why wouldn't they just leave?
I don't know, dude.
Get the fuck out of there.
The giant comes up and bites part of the sub, and they're like, we're gonna die, we're about to die, so blow up the sub so we at least take out this big fucker. Like, let's take him out with us. We're gonna die, but let's like actually make a difference here and take out this giant mer person that's obviously gonna wreck the world. So they blow up, and you see that the mer person is looks dead.
Yeah,
it's like they're blown up. It was biting the sub.
See the blood everywhere.
Yeah. So we have our crew kind of stuck, just like in a sub. Their sub. Wait, it was before. Communicate, call your boy. They fucking lived, bro. That's dumb. I didn't notice that the first. So part of the sub exploded, but this part of the sub they were in is fine. They didn't even die.
So they're all good.
Yeah. So I thought it had happened a different way.
He bit off a chunk of it.
Yeah,
and
of the sub, and it blew that up, I guess. Yeah. So they're kind of stuck at the bottom of the planet. They see that there's more mermaids, and they're going everywhere, and they're like creating tsunamis and flooding cities and finding ways to melt the ice caps. They find ways to melt the ice caps so the water rises super freaking high. So this is the part 2. So the first 5 issues is what I just read, and the second 5 issues is all 200 years from the first beginning of this. So 200 years after the mermaids came out and started fucking up cities, this is where the rest of our story takes place. And I think they kind of, like pretty immediately, our main character in this is a descendant of Lee Archer.
I noticed the green hair and stuff.
Yeah. So she's a descendant. Her name is Lee Ward, like Leeward, like the leeward side of stuff, whatever. So her name is Leeward, and it's like Waterworld basically, except a lot more land. There's still a lot of land, but a lot less than before. It's kind of realistic in how much land that we would lose with the water.
With the ice caps.
Yeah, it was kind of realistic. So we find out that our leeward chick's kind of like the Mariner from Waterworld. She cruises around trying to find technology that she can use from the old world to find a way to defeat the mer people. She has there's been I don't know what to call it, like a rumor or something for a long time that at the bottom of the ocean there's a solution to the mermaid problem. So that's been said for the whole 200 years, and at this point it's like no one believes that at all, and no one even tries to figure it out. You know what I mean? So she's like a scavenger. So she looks for technology, and she kills mer people because they salvage their glands, their hallucination glands, and make drugs out of it.
Hell yeah.
I wanted to say it before. Yeah, they make drugs out of it, and they use it for other stuff too. But they make drugs. Yeah. So she lands on like a atoll. Like an atoll is like a outpost. She's got a map of there you go. There's a what the United States used to look like and what we do now. So like it's a lot of land gone, but it's not Waterworld.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And like even on the little map here, look at that little map. She's got it drawn where the new coastline is.
Oh,
so we just
made it.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, we didn't.
No,
make
we
it.
definitely did not make it.
Yeah, we're out.
No.
Houston's gone.
Oh, 100%. So she's like I said, literally like the Mariner from Waterworld. She's cruising around everywhere. She's got a pet dolphin that's ultra intelligent. She's got a plane, a glider that seems to like fly as well, meaning like maybe powered. Mm-hmm. It seems to be powered, but you can't really tell where the power is coming from. It's just cool shit. So we leave her and we meet up with our antagonists of the story. So far the antagonists have been the mer people. Now our new antagonist is Arm. That's the name of the group. They're like the biggest group. Like if the United States was still around, they're the United States, basically. Okay. Like the largest group of people with technology and funds and everything like that. So they're like, this is 200 years after the mermaid thing. They're trying to figure out ways to easily kill mermaids. They're doing experiments on mermaids. They're doing this, and they also highly censor anybody trying to use radios. Mm-hmm. And any sort of communication device. Like if you do that, you try to use a ham radio, they'll find you and come kill you, or like put you in jail. I thought that was funny. Yeah, they put these people in jail for doing like super bad treason thing, but their jail, I wouldn't say it's jail. It's more like slavery. Ooh. They have to row a giant boat.
Jesus.
And they're strapped to the rows. And
why not the radios? Because mer people. Because
there's been since the beginning. There's been a repeating message from our Lee Archer chick saying, I have a way to fix this, whatever.
Why people think that?
Yeah. Okay. So the Arm knows it. Arm knows it's a thing. They don't want other people to know. They want there to be no hope. They want everybody to be... They don't want anybody... They don't want to lose control, basically.
Right.
They want to keep everybody scared and keep them from... revolting or whatever. So she uses a part of a radio. Arm figures it out. They go pick her up because it's illegal. Her and her homeboy get arrested and they get put on the slave boat. And then we get a flashback to Leeward, not Lee Archer, to Leeward's childhood where her dad was taken and killed by Arm. And she escaped when she was like a little kid. She escaped herself and has been living on her own with, when I said her homeboy, he's kind of like an uncle or like a surrogate dad. Right. Helped take care of her whenever she got to wherever she's going. So she hates Arm. And she specifically hates this guy. I don't think I saved his name. Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, here it is right here. General Marlowe. I did write it down. I'm so dumb. General Marlowe is like the one who killed her dad. So he's in the rest of it. He was in he's the second in command at Arm. So the number one in command at Arm is named Governess, and he's in second in command. Mm-hmm. So we kind of see what they do, or part of what they do. They have giant cruise ships with giant oars sticking out of it, just like Waterworld. And they're dredging up for junk from the bottom of the ocean to help reinforce their seawalls and their reefs to help keep the water from coming in and keep the mermaids back away from their cities. So they're being held on this as slaves on a ship, and they're like trying to escape. And right as they're trying to escape, a giant merman comes up and messes up their boat that they're on, like jacks up the boat. Where is it? It's like right here. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
pops out of the water and like.
When you told me to look at it, I saw that and was like, "Oh, I know it's coming."
Yeah, it starts like ripping up the boat. It's cool. Really cool.
Cool shot.
And so her and her homie are like kind of getting away, or trying to swim away, get away, and the giant merman comes down and swallows her and the dolphin. Leeward and the dolphin. And you're like, "Oh crap, they're dead."
What's the dolphin's name?
I don't know. I don't think she actually says it. Like, I don't think I missed it. I don't think she actually says it. And then you see inside this giant mermaid's mouth is a bunch of buildings and like technology and shit. And she gets put into like a pressure tube, or you know what I mean? And it opens up and there's just dudes inside of it. They're pirates. So this body is the body of the giant mermaid that exploded at 200 years ago. So what happened was the mermaid exploded, and remember our main characters lived. Yeah. Meeks and Lee Archer and the other guy, they all lived. So what they did was, instead of going back to the surface and whatnot, they went and they still had some areas that they could go in and work and whatnot, and they converted the entire body of the giant mermaid into their ship.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
Yeah, so they used that's their pirate ship is the whole giant mermaid body.
Nice.
And it looks.
And they went and fucked up the armed ship.
Yeah,
slave ship.
Yeah, and so like.
I mean, they killed everyone. It seems. But.
Yeah, so like they don't always do that. I don't remember why they weren't doing it to rescue her or anything. It just happened, and so we see Marlowe, the general that killed her dad or whatever. He gets picked up by like a floating Humvee, like a hot air balloon Humvee. He gets picked up by Arm, so he's still alive, and gets picked up by the Arm mothership, which is each of those is a dirigible.
Oh wow, that thing's huge.
Look there's the Humvee.
Yeah.
So like they're in like it looks like it's almost the size of a friggin' helicarrier.
Right.
It's like probably close to the size of a helicarrier, and that's Arm's mobile base. So that becomes like where the Arm is the rest of the time. Our leeward chick is introduced. The pirates are super nice, actually. They sick a mermaid on her, and she's like, ah, and it gets her, and she wakes up, and they're like, what the hell is that? And they were like, oh, he's like a truth serum type mermaid or whatever. We had to make sure that you weren't part of Arm or whatever, so we actually drugged you up and asked you a bunch of questions and shit. So she thought she was gonna die. She thought she was getting eaten by the mermaid.
Yeah.
So she gets woken up, and the captain is did I even write his captain's name now? No, I didn't. The captain of the pirates. Oh yeah, is Mary's or something like that. Captain. Yeah, so he like explains their whole deal. We're pirates. We don't actually hurt people because everybody said they fucked mermaids. It was like the rumor about these guys that they fucked mermaids and that they were cannibals, and they are not any of those.
They're like, we don't eat people.
Right. So she
like that. That's it.
That's it.
We don't eat people. Yeah, that's it.
I hate it when people say that part.
Yeah, that part really bothers me.
So Leeward explains, "Hey, I heard this signal. I need to go do this," and they're like, "Yeah, that's not a real thing, whatever." And then she mentions Lee Archer. She goes, "But Lee Archer, blah blah," and the pirate's like, "What?" And they go and they show her a recording of Lee Archer, and it's a different recording than the one she heard. So like she knows it's real now. She like has confirmation that there really is like a cure or a solution or whatever. Yeah. So I'm so close to the end. I'm not gonna wrap up the cool twist and whatnot, but there's how should I say this? They go and find, this is what I'll do. You know how I said the flashbacks come in to make sense? Well, here's where they find the caveman who was drawing on the wall. Mm-hmm. There was like one panel of him earlier. They explain exactly who he was. I can't explain it. I was about to ruin the whole thing. They explain who he was. I'll say that. They explain who he was, and they start filling you in on the secrets of this world, universe, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And every part of it, it's not silly twists. I don't think that the twists are silly. I think they're earned. They're earned with enough hints here and there. And the wrap up is satisfying in that people get what they deserve, and we get answers as to why everything happened the way it happened. Okay. So it wraps up very well. It wraps up completely because, like I said, this is a beginning, middle, and end of the comic. It wraps up completely. I don't want to get any more details about the end of it, but genuinely amazing. Yeah, I normally, if awesome. I like it, I'll be like, yeah, it's good. I like it or whatever. But it was amazing. It really was.
You own that?
Yeah.
So I can read it.
It's
I might actually read this one.
It's actually super good. Yeah, beginning, middle, and end.
Hell yeah.
And it says 10 issues, but I think it's the smaller 18-page issues is what they're technically doing, not the bigger ones or whatever, 24 or whatever.
A little easier to read.
So it's not as long as you. It's and the end only has a little bit of covers, so the end isn't a whole bunch of like extra covers and stuff. So almost the whole thing is the actual comic book.
Dude, no joke. Literally everything about this is freaking awesome.
Yeah, the art is just out of this world. I love it.
Yeah, it is pretty incredible.
I don't know how to describe it, but it's dope.
You'll see it on the YouTube.
Yep.
All right.
What's wrong, Matt?
I hate you, man. All right, this is our segment, Matt versus Adam, which if you can't tell by my extremely happy demeanor here, I have not been doing too swell at.
No.
Got a losing record, not doing hot. But anyway, this segment is where we take a random character generator and we see who would win in a fight between the guys or girls we get.
Or inanimate objects.
Or inanimate objects.
Monsters.
Oh, we need to do like a lamp versus chair. It'd be so stupid. So we have Marvel, DC, cartoon, and video game. We also have anime, which we vowed to never do again until we have help.
No, we'll do DC this time. We did
DC.
Marvel last time.
We did do Marvel last time. All right, here. Just tap it.
All right. No, okay, cool. Strong, but definitely not no god.
You got him before.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it again?
I can.
Yeah, well, you've been doing that every time you get the same guy.
Why does it keep doing that?
Well, I mean, there's limited.
How?
I don't know. I think these filters tend to have
we
like
got that one before.
King Shark. Okay.
Yeah. You definitely can win.
Let's see who I get.
It's possible. Please.
Yeah, I got Flash. That's
okay.
that's yeah, dude. If you happen to beat me once and I'm not dead, I can just rewind it a little bit.
Yeah, so Flash doesn't really want to kill anybody ever.
That's true. I could beat you though.
King Shark will just eat you for no reason.
See, so that's the thing is like you definitely have offensive strength.
Yeah.
You are ridiculously strong. But I'm crazy
I just
fast.
can't catch you. Yeah, I mean like you didn't get a god at least, so it's
no,
not
I
like
got a regular dude
so
just
like,
with superpowers. And
yeah, so obviously
ahead.
you would win, but I feel like that would actually kind of be a cool fight because, like I said, the Flash and his rogues are like not killers. Like that's a thing.
Yeah,
like,
they're kind of
they don't
bum
kill.
sauce.
And King Shark literally just like mass murderer. Not even like
for sure.
Oh, he's a kind of a bad guy. No,
he's also
like,
a demigod.
Yeah.
So
his dad's a shark god or whatever.
His notable alias is Trixie. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's superhuman strength, stamina, durability, speed, and senses. So superhuman speed, that might help a little bit. Sharp teeth and claws, regeneration, underwater breathing, and animal empathy.
Oh, okay.
So if I kick a dog,
I'm
you'll
gonna
get
be super
sad.
sad about it.
Get real sad.
Man, with empathy, maybe I feel it.
I mean,
he kicked that dog.
I don't think there's a version of Flash that couldn't beat King Shark, in all honesty.
Like, I mean, if you didn't have any powers, because you don't really do a lot of stuff besides move really fast, then yeah, but other than
true.
That,
but dude, he's got that punch where he can like run around the world and like, he wrecks it.
Oh yeah.
Different Flashes too. Some of them are even stronger.
Yeah.
Right?
What's his name? Wally is faster.
Wally was the one in the Justice League we always saw. That wasn't Barry. Right?
The animated one?
Yeah, the cartoon. It was Barry?
Yeah.
Okay. What show was mainly Wally?
The what was it called? I don't know. They had the other one in the like Young Titans or whatever. In the newest one, they have the one that wears white. So it's not Wally, but it's another guy.
So basically, from '85 to 2009 was Wally because Barry died in Crisis in Infinite Earths in '85. So I can't find a list of his powers here, but okay, here we go. Super speed, hyper accelerated brain activity, superhuman agility. This just goes on. Lightning projection, electrokinesis, time travel. Speed force absorption. Yeah, dude.
This is the matchups that I usually get. I would have gotten Flash, and then you would have gotten King Shark. That's how it normally works.
That's why I made you go first. Because I was
so you could switch it up.
I'm not.
When I wasn't watching.
No, I did it for real. I always go first, and I've been losing a lot, so I was like, let me change it up.
Yeah.
But I've been like, you want to go first? And you've gone first and been like, I got this guy. Like, I think the Mangog Spider, or one of the ones recently where it's who It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
You got a god.
I got 2 in a row.
Yeah,
you
did.
Mangog, and then I got Surtur.
Surtur. It was Surtur versus Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think I went first on that one. But there's a few where you did go first.
Yeah.
But yeah, King Shark, I don't think he's getting through Flash, man.
Not at all.
Even
but
if it's just
like I said,
because
comics are comics and whatnot, it would be a cool fight.
It would be.
Like, if you're just going on, like, trying to be realistic, then obviously the super fast guy would instantly murder a big shark man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But because comics are comics and they have to be cool and entertaining, I bet that fight would be cool.
He has regeneration, superhuman
underwater.
speed.
He could drag him underwater, which means Barry or whoever it is can't run as fast.
I bet he could still move fast underwater.
Oh, I'm sure he can. I'm just saying Shark can move fast underwater, too, finally.
Oh, right, yeah. That would be your dominant arena.
I still wouldn't be dominant. I would have slightly more advantage than on the land.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, you still.
I still would be at a disadvantage. I'm just
saying
that fight would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be a cool fight though. Underwater, that would be really cool.
Yeah, I would be interested to see Flash fight underwater
because I feel like obviously he would still win, but like, in some stuff they say he has to have traction. So that's how he gets taken out multiple times.
So maybe he can't swim fast.
That's what I mean.
Well, no, because he can do his arms. He would need
his traction to like touch the ground.
No, he could fucking flap his arms and go super fast because he could.
Like a little fish.
You know he could. They would be work his fins, especially if he did circles or like a rowing motion. He could go fast as hell.
Yeah.
And kick his little feet like.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
He might be faster than King Shark.
That's what I mean. You would still win. There's no way I would win even if we were underwater. But yeah, I could see that being a cool looking fight for sure.
No, well, remember that that other fight underwater? It was like Colossus with Juggernaut's helmet and the Hulk,
the Red Hulk,
and that was so sweet. It was such a cool fight because it was
underwater,
underwater,
and the air bubble would come, and then the water would snap.
Yeah, they'd be in the air basically, water free, and then
dome of air.
So cool. So yeah, I'd imagine it'd be cool shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be cool. Hell yeah,
it'd be dope. So all right, so that's 11-7. Thank you, DC.
Yeah,
getting me back on the board a little bit.
Woo, you catching up.
Yeah, I'm not.
I told you, like, just by stats and whatnot, you should at least be catching up. Yeah.
I figured we would be pretty close, like 1 or 2.
The whole time.
I didn't know it'd be
just
fucking
ahead.
6 to 7 or 5 to 6 fucking points
ahead. You don't know
of me.
that I programmed the random character generators. That's me.
I made
those.
You're Lucy 213?
No, it's me.
Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I did all the programming.
All right, so we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and new episodes release every Monday on your podcast platform.
Your preferred
of
platform.
choice. Yep. And then YouTube, accompanying videos for all this talking. So if you're listening, thank you. If you're liking pages, who is it? Anyone been doing it lately? Yeah.
Oh, we've kind of shouted out most of the people that.
I guess we have, yeah. So either way, if you liking, listening, thank you so much.
You know you are.
All of it. Those international listeners.
There's not that many options, so you know who you are.
Yeah, right. If those international listeners, if y'all are real, we appreciate all of you. Yeah. So apparently someone in Boardman somewhere is digging us. So if you're that guy or person from Boardman, shout out to you.
Yep.
So we appreciate it all so much, seriously. And that's all, I believe, right?
That's the end.
That's the end. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.